G'day, listeners. Welcome to our senior women weekly review. We have our championship women here who have one more week still before their final season start. Round 19 around the corner. We're going to kick a start here. Round 18. It was Campbell who hosted Pakenham. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done at 74 to 97 mark.
Yeah, it was the Hayley Nickerson show, as well as Samantha Romanowski saved her best to last here with 20 points, 9 rebounds and 7 assists. And realistically, two teams, it was a bit of a dead rubber because the game doesn't mean much. And Pakenham just took care of business. And nothing really to see here. Thanks, Ted.
Absolutely. There you go. Sherbrooke fell short by 14 points, 70 to Buleen's 84. Buleen looking very nice as they work their way towards finals, looking like a genuine contender here.
Yeah, and there's plenty to see here, Ted, because this is effectively what's looking like the semi-finals preview. We have Portia Poole, who did her thing, 22 points and 8 assists. She was probably kept to some lower percentage than we've seen her shooting-wise. You know, she's been shooting up about 60 in some of these games. She's been really hot. But so done an okay defensive job there. The interesting thing was Carline only had 11 rebounds, which she usually dominates that field by even more. So
yeah, that's bizarre.
Usually she's up around the 15 mark just as a break-even point. So and then you look at Bulleen, and they sort of just had a whole bunch of contributors, five double-figure scorers, including Daniela Kujovic with 16 off the bench. Amy Baum was really important with 10 rebounds, but a whopping 14 assists.
Jesus Christ. Didn't want to shoot the ball. She just loved to dime.
Yeah, no, why would you when you can just get your teammates open? That's Amy Baum's theory. And But yeah, I think the fact that they've got so many scoring options gave Sherbrooke a whole bunch of headaches.
Absolutely. Moving on, we had Sunbury got the job done, 80 to McKinnon at 67. A big win for Sunbury here.
A really important game as well. Sunbury are making a really last-minute push for that fourth position to try and squeeze in on take it off McKinnon. So this was a huge game for Sunbury. The Hildebrand sisters were brilliant. Ida Anderson had one of her best games of the season, shooting 6 of 9 from three-point land. And interesting for McKinnon, Cassie Hill was brilliant. 26 points, 60%, to go with 10 rebounds, 3 steals. This is her best game of the season, and how unusual to sit there and not reel off Brianna Gray or Emily Suckling as the Cougars' best player. Cassie Hill was brilliant, and then Sarah Beveridge or Saray Beveridge off the bench with 15 points. She was also a really handy contributor for the Cougars.
Yeah, fantastic. Massive game for Sunbury. Curious to see what's going to happen next week as their last run of season comes about. Wyndham were just continuing to get their winning streak, just ticking over yet again. 98 to Hume at 72. I wouldn't think there'd be too much to talk about here. Bernard Pascal would have been amazing, as she normally is, with her 23 points to go with her 9 rebounds and 9 assists to go with 5 steals, if you do not mind. She didn't have a block, but I bet she could have if she really wanted to.
Yeah, she was brilliant, and we give her her due recognition, very well deserved. But I want to give a bit of a shout out to Lauren Jones, who came off the bench for 19 points.
Absolutely.
She was brilliant. Once again, just really efficient, 62% from the field. They're the sort of support players that become really important when finals is here.
Yeah, absolutely, and even more now without the likes of Diani Aniev, doesn't have that elite second scorer there and distributor and rebounder and pacemaker and everything like that. So super important to have the likes of Alex Connolly and Lauren Jones and Holly Dolany to really step up and be that second contributor.
100%. And just a quick shout out to Tegan Hindle from Hume, who finished with 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. She had a really good game and was just stiff on missing the starting 5 this week, actually. But moving on, we got Division 1. We got finals.
We have finals. We have second chance opportunity here between Bellarine and Mildura. I believe it was Warrnambool who had the weekend off. Lucky for them, they didn't have to travel this weekend.
Yeah, and they get to host the first final, which Bellarine and Mildura were fighting out for. And Bellarine were brilliant. They had a really good game and led by none other than Georgia Varley, as we'd expect, with 21 points and 6 assists. But some interesting stats here, Ted, with the rebound numbers over here.
Huge.
Chantel Hall just swept up 17 boards, and Charlotte Armstrong had 15 of her own. So, if Mildura have to come head-to-head with Bellarine again, then they're going to do something to try and even out the rebound battle.
Absolutely. Even that assist numbers, 22 assists for the game for Bellarine. They love to share the ball.
Yeah, so interesting to see. They just pulled away a little bit in the second quarter, and then the third quarter effectively finished it off. But it looks like Vanessa Power and Tyra Johnson may have been an option to pull them off and rest them for the following week and see how they go hosting the winners of Western Port Craigieburn,
it was Western Port Craigieburn at home, fell short just by 9, 51-60. Wasn't meant to be.
Rachel Winters' show here. Rachel Winters, I can almost guarantee she would have had the job. I might be wrong, so I shouldn't guarantee, but I would expect her to do the job on Courtney Strait, and then she finished with 21 points of her own to go with a whopping 18 rebounds. I think it's funny because every year I say this, but when finals comes, Rachel Winters really turns up and her stats just go absolutely off the charts, really.
Absolutely. Fantastic job by Western Port to get through, and we have Division 2 women here in a second. I don't know what's going on.
The final round of the season. So, and we saw first up, Wallen just took care of business against Collingwood, 87-79, a little bit closer than what we would have anticipated when we look at the ladder of these two teams. But unfortunately, they weren't able to. Stats weren't able to get done on the night. But well done to Wallen for getting the job done there.
Absolutely. Gippsland United got it done at home, 96 over Coburg, 88 in an overtime performance there. Coburg did an exceptional job to get all the way to the end. Unable to get it done, fell short 13-5 in the overtime 5-minute spurt.
Yeah, the Coburg, what a way to finish off their season. They're on the road. They've had a heap of injuries across the season, and they finished off strong by pushing top of the table to overtime. But shout out to Rochelle Carrozza, who saved her best for last with 22 points and 12 boards. She was enormous for visitors, but it was Lauren Tuplin off the bench who sort of got it done. 22 points, 9 boards, 6 assists in a very nice individual performance there by her.
Absolutely. RMIT tried to close out their season as positively as they could, but fell short to Surf Coast 62-84. To then have Wallen round out their season. They went 2-0 for their final weekend, 94 defeating Blackburn 53.
Now these two teams go head-to-head again this week, Ted. They'll be playing in the second versus third 3-game series.
Best of 3.
They're going to need to find an answer for Kyla Collins. 27 points, 15 boards, and 7 steals in this one. Now, generally speaking, when Wallen have a closer game, it's because we don't have so many steals. They obviously like to pressure the ball a lot. They try and make some reads. You've got to be ready for Kyla Collins to get in those passing lanes and that sort of thing. So a little bit of a preview, but I'm wondering whether Blackburn potentially put the cue in the rack a little bit in the second half there, Ted.
Yeah, possibly. We'll find out soon. But, Blackburn do host week 1. So if they can try and steal the game early here and then put some pressure back on Wallen as they host in the second week in a Saturday and possibly a Sunday clash. We'll see. But anywho, that'll be all for us with Big V Senior Women. We are in finals 1 more week for our championship women, though. We'll catch you all very soon.